r/AskReddit by Galaxy Reddit. Offspring of incest. What's your story and how is your life? Actually, doing okay. My biological parents were father-daughter. I was adopted as a toddler when my birth mother died. She had another daughter, a few years older, with a boyfriend, who she physically abused, and her partner sexually abused. Her older daughter was later adopted. My adoptive parents are really great. They had 6 sons before me, wanted a daughter. I knew I was adopted. My family's white but I'm not. But I didn't know about it until I was a teenager. Went through a mini crisis of holy shit I'm a monster before coming to terms with it. I struggled for a long time about it, just because it isn't something you want people to know, but it's also something you desperately want to talk through, because it just doesn't make any sense and it's so taboo. Rightly so. I hated the idea of therapy, and I felt strange talking to my parents about it, so I hid my pain for a long time. Eventually, a youth pastor who I disclosed to ended up helping me. I still talk regularly with him and his wife. I have a half-brother from my father and some woman. He's not a child from incest, who I do know and communicate with. He's 10 years older than me, lives near where I was born, Dakotas. We have a good relationship, but at a distance. I have had some medical problems, some of which are genetic, but none that scream incest. I'm a college athlete, D2 school, but I've had problems with tendon/ligaments and spinal problems for some time. I've had knee surgery and will soon need another. Have scoliosis, bad degenerative disc disease, herniated discs, few other things. I had back surgery last summer and will have another one this summer. I also having my thyroid checked regularly, had some cysts form on it. We are monitoring them for growth, and I'm having regular blood tests. All of this sounds way worse than it actually is though. My day-to-day life is usually pain-free with some ice and ibuprofen. My main thing is I worry about marrying/having children. I didn't date much in high school, but I now have a great boyfriend. He was in the Marine Corps and has some PTSD, which he told me about last month when we started getting into the tell each other all our past garbage phase. I've yet to tell him though. I plan to, especially considering I want to have a family of my own one day, but I need to consult with a genetic counselor before I consider having children. Of course, adoption is always an option. I think the main factor with kids of incest is that adopting them makes people feel uneasy, just because it isn't something they themselves know how to deal with. That's understandable. But what made all the difference in my life is being adopted by such wonderful people. My parents, my brothers, my extended family who knows my birth parents. They never once made me feel disgusting, or unwanted or unloved. I can't imagine where I would be without them. Edit. Thank you to everyone for your lovely comments. Also, thanks to those offering insight about the genetic testing. Your info is greatly appreciated. Honey, before we get too serious, I have a dark secret you need to know. I have PTSD. I hope you still love me. Oh, I can do better than that. I was adopted when I was 2. I'm extremely close to my parents. They never kept it a secret that I was adopted. It really was no big deal until I got into those angsty teenage years and felt like I wanted to find my real parents. When I was 12, I found a small safe in my parents' closet and tried to find out anything I could. I found some information such as my original last name, but that was about it. Fast forward to about 6 years ago. I developed a bunch of pretty serious illnesses and was curious to see if anything was due to my genetic makeup. I met with a social worker from the state that I live in, and he facilitated getting some info for me. He offered me the opportunity to meet my bio mother. I declined. I received a packet with my medical information. It turns out that my birth mother claims that her brother is my bio dad. Every woman in my bio mom's family, grandmother, aunts, etc. had significant mental health issues and all of them had their bio children taken away due to serious neglect and alcoholism. So I don't drink. That kind of messed me up for a while, and I felt a tremendous amount of shame. I asked my mom if she knew that I was potentially a product of brother-sister incest, and she said that they found out during the adoption phase. However, I was also told to take the information with a grain of salt, since my birth mother apparently had a long history of mental illness. I don't think I will ever know for sure, but I try really hard not to think about it too much and focus on my great parents who love me endlessly and gave me a truly terrific life. I still struggle with the possibility. It makes me feel kind of dirty. The only people that know are my parents and my husband. I secretly hope that my BO mom was making it up due to her illness. Edit. Just wanted to say thanks to everyone for all the kind words. I really wasn't sure if I should post this. You folks are awesome. My parents are first cousins. I only got some hormonal problems, but it's not too serious. It's really embarrassing. The younger ones in my family don't know it, and neither do any of my friends. It would be horrible if they knew. A girl in my school once joked about my parents being cousins because I'm Middle Eastern, and I nearly got an heart attack, but I just laughed it off since I knew it was just a joke. A question asking about incest with no serious tag, getting really good replies. Did Reddit just make history? I have some acquaintances, two Indian sisters, adopted by an American family when they were babies. Apparently they were the product of their uncle raping their mother. These girls grew up to be gorgeous geniuses, so it worked out okay for them. I work with two children who were born because of incest. The boy is microcephalic, small head, cerebral palsy, severe ADD and developmental delay, has almost a teenager, but is as functional as a 6-year-old, and is on a toddler education level. He will probably need care his whole life. His parents were uncle/niece, but his mom was delayed as well. The girl was born from a brother and sister. They have 4 kids total, and she is the only one with issues. I swear she has Marfan syndrome. Her joints are incredibly loose, and she has very long fingers and toes. Her brain isn't able to process light properly, so she's legally blind. She's also severely autistic, which is probably unrelated to her parents being siblings, but it actually benefits her because she's incredibly smart. She's 10 now and is learning to communicate well and is excelling in school these days. She's actually starting going to regular school now in a special class because she's blind. But we have hopes that she will be able to go to the normal classes in a few years. She's still not potty trained, but that's expected when you have a level of autism and being blind. The worst thing I've ever seen as a pediatric CNA isn't the children from incest though, it's the children from parents who drank or did drugs while pregnant. Such beautiful children who would have been perfectly fine if their mothers hadn't put poison in their bodies. To be honest, I didn't consider myself a product of incest until I read the comments here. My parents are first cousins. I come from a country where that's normal and lived all my life in another country where it is the norm. I think I'm pretty normal, and my siblings too. We all ended up being atheists in a country where you can get killed for that. Smart and open-minded. So in the eyes of my culture, there's probably something wrong with us. I have 2 siblings-in-law, adopted, obviously, who are the product of incest. Both have mental deficiencies. One is in legal trouble relating to child porn. The other has Prader-Willi syndrome, meaning they will eat anything, and a huge amount, due to never ever feeling full. Neither will ever live completely independently. Not me, but a kid in school that I work sub at occasionally. His mother is the direct product of incest. Her father raped his daughter, and he is an absolute delight, let me tell you. He spends most of his time in a special ed classroom with 3 or 4 other students, and he is always helping out his classmates and his teachers when he can. He saw me at a local event and wanted to introduce me to his mother. She's got no teeth and just looks ragged and worn, but she is one of the sweetest people I've ever talked to. He'll be alright. I think he's being groomed to be a custodian or something, but it's nice to know that such horrible conditions don't have to define an individual. My old neighbor was the product of a father raping his daughter. She had some cognitive impairment that seemed like early onset dementia, but was very slow to progress. Diabetes and tons of mental health issues, hoarding, schizophrenia, agoraphobia, just about everything imaginable. If it was a thing back then, she would have also been on the autism spectrum. She had 2 children herself, non-incest, that were profoundly mentally ill and also somewhat intellectually disabled. The son was a horribly abusive paranoid schizophrenic, and the daughter was a hoarder. They were all living together off of disability. Police raided their home and found they were living in filth with the dead, rotting bodies of their pets everywhere, and the entire building was condemned by the health department. The son and daughter, adults in their 50s, wandered off never to be found. Their mother became homeless and ended up in a state-run nursing home. We were her only visitors. Thank you very much for watching. In the comments below the video, write your opinion or story. And also do not forget to watch our other videos. Bye.